Coming up on Speedway Line Report Radio, presented to you by Shaler Acura of Manchester, Connecticut. Tonight, joining me and my co-host, Ricky Rotondo, when the green flag flies for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour on Friday night, August 3rd, it will mark Stafford Speedway debut of two-time Southern Whelen Modified Tour champion and eight-time Bowman Gray Stadium Modified champion Burt Myers. He's scheduled to join us tonight on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. A gentleman who's been around the sport for a long time as a crew chief, and this year working with Eric Burt in the SK Modified division at Stafford Speedway. Stash Butova will join us a little bit later on. And we'll be taking your phone calls, 203-757-1320. We stream live at WATR.com, and to hear our show in a rebroadcast, you can now go to SidsView.com. You can also check us out on the TuneIn Radio and on the Simple Radio app. Today, Monday, July 30th, 2018, Speedway Line Report Radio is headed your way right now.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
The green flag is in the air, and it's time for the Speedway Line Report, presented by Shaler Acura of Manchester, broadcasting from our WATR studios in Waterbury, Connecticut, and streaming live around the world. Now, here's your host.
Glad you could join us for this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. Gary Danko here in our Waterbury studio at WATR 1320 AM. And I'm joined by my co-host, Rick Rotondo from R&R Fabrication. He also works with Eric Burt in the SK Modified division on Friday nights over at Stafford Speedway. This show is also being brought to you by J.M. Montesano Auto Body, Sign Pro, Jim's Lawn Care Service, Levine Auto and Truck Parts, Prestige Body Works, and Grotto Restaurant. If you want to give us a call tonight and talk auto racing with any of our scheduled guests or with Ricky or myself, 203-757-1320. 203-757-1320. We are live on the AM dial at 1320, and we are also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived thanks to our good friend Tom DiMaggio by going to SidsView.com. Sid does a great job with the in-car cameras, and he's done a great job in everything he does with his crew. And we appreciate everything that Tom DiMaggio is doing for us here on Speedway Line Report Radio to get us through to the end of the season of Speedway Line Report Radio. As I mentioned, my co-host, Rick Rotondo. Ricky, how are you?
Doing good.
Another victory for Eric Burt. We're going to talk to a gentleman you know well and I know well, Stash Butova, who's calling the shots. And congratulations to you as well.
Thanks. I mean, we got the win, and I'll tell you that Ronnie Williams with that 50 car, he was really the big winner because he didn't put on any tires and he got third place. So, I mean, that was big. We put on 2. And we got to win. So, I mean, it cost us to get the win. Because with all the tires and everything else. And so we have time coming up here that we're going to be without some tire. And I don't know if we're going to be able to run that well.
And, of course, this coming Friday night over at Stafford Speedway, of course, the premier division at Stafford is the SK Modified division. All of their divisions will be in action on Friday night, and of course the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour will be on hand, and we're going to talk to a gentleman that's going to make his debut there, Burt Myers, who's had a lot of success in his auto racing career. He'll be coming up in just a few minutes. 203-757-1320. We talk auto racing here on Monday night from 6 to 7. We'd love to hear from you. 203-757-1320, and it's going to be interesting. Burt Myers is going to come into Stafford Speedway. It's a track that he said he always has wanted to race at, and now he's going to get that opportunity. And of course, the car he's going to drive for Ed Harvey, good equipment.
Absolutely good equipment, no doubt about it. And, Burt can drive a car. So.
Oh, no question. So it'll be good to see him at Stafford Speedway this coming Friday night. And as we mentioned, Stash Butova, who's worked with many in his career, either as a crew member or crew chief. He knows how to set up race cars, and he's got some magic. And we're going to talk to Stash coming up a little bit later on in the show. We'll take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to a gentleman that will be at Stafford on Friday night in the number I believe it's going to be the number 1 car that he's going to be driving.
I believe so, yes.
We're going to talk to Burt Myers. He'll be up next.
There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com. In the market for a new or pre-owned Acura? There's only one place to go, Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler offers the area's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras, combined with being Connecticut's only Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Acura Dealership of Distinction Award 18 times. At Shaler, we make owning an Acura easy. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street in Manchester, or visit us on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Opinions expressed on the Speedway Line Report do not necessarily reflect those of WATR management and staff, or the management and staff of the SpeedwayLineReport.com or VintageModifieds.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM. Also streaming online, WATR.com, and all shows archived at SidsView.com. Our first guest of the evening is all set and ready to go, and I know he's anxious to get up here to Connecticut for this coming Friday night's action over at Stafford Motor Speedway. He'll be competing in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event. Burt Myers now joins us. Burt, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, you're very welcome. Glad you could take time out of your schedule to join us tonight. But, okay, so first of all, before we talk about Stafford this coming Friday night for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, take us through what you've been doing so far in 2018.
Well, mainly I've been spending my Saturday nights over in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at Bowman Gray Stadium. I've been able to hit a couple shows up north, but for the most part, that's where I spend most of my time on the weekends. But like I said, I'm looking really forward to getting up there Friday night, visiting a track that I've always wanted to come to.
Yeah, I mean, you've been at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park here in Connecticut. You've been to the London Waterford Speed Bowl, and now you're going to get a chance to come to the half mile at Stafford Speedway. Of course, a good reputation. Some great drivers have raced there and have gone on in their racing career. And when you accomplish something at Stafford Speedway, you've accomplished something big. So tell us a little bit about everything. Who you're going to be driving for, and take us from there.
Yeah, I'm. As most people know by now, me and Eddie Harvey teamed up, and it was an opportunity for me to get to run some races up north that I've never been able to do. And it's hard for me. In the past, it's been hard for me to try to make races other than Bowman Gray because I had to use my hauler, my tools, my equipment, my crew to go back and forth. And with Eddie, he's got several guys already in place. He's already familiar with a lot of the northern tracks and the setup, the tires, and stuff it takes to be competitive. And like I said, it was just a deal that came together that it was going to work out good for both of us. We've had some good chemistry. I know he's got the equipment. I feel like I've got the ability. It's just a matter of putting it together and trying to find success.
Yeah, I know this is kind of a stupid question, but what is the number on the car going to be?
Number 1.
Okay, we were just making sure because we talked about it just a couple minutes ago and we called it number 1. We said we're pretty
Yes,
sure
sir.
that's what it is, but I just wanted to make sure so the people knew what car it was.
Yeah, it's going to be. Go ahead, Burt.
I've always been. I'm sorry. Of course, my number is number 1, and Eddie had number 11. Whenever Andy Seiss drove for him, and we talked about it in the off season, and number 1 was available, and he said, "Well, if you're going to be in the car, why don't we check with NASCAR and see if we can put number 1 on it?" And of course, I wasn't going to argue with that. Hard to. It's hard to, if you're going to have to be a number 1's not a bad one to be, right?
That's right.
Absolutely. And, of course, Dunleavy's Truck and Trailer Repair will be on board your Chevrolet. And now you said you're really excited about, coming to Stafford, and this is something you're going to want to add to your resume. And despite having zero experience under your belt at Stafford, so what are the first things that you're going to be looking for when you get out there for practice?
Well, basically, I've been doing this my whole life.
Sure.
Even though it's a new experience for me to come up there, and I think it's a little bit different than any track I've ever been to, but I welcome that. I've enjoyed a new challenge like that. And, of course, there'll probably be some guys that I'll try to maybe get behind and kind of see exactly corner entry and corner exit, just maybe kind of get a couple tidbits from different people. But for the most part, I'm just going to jump in, head first and kind of see. I think that I've made a pretty good career out of driving by the seat of my pants. And basically what I mean by that is knowing where to put my car to make it the most comfortable for me and the car to get the most results. So, like I said, I've always enjoyed going to new tracks. But, there'll be a couple guys, especially in the LFR camp, that have had success there that I can maybe lean on just a little bit, maybe get a little bit of advice, just some of the ins and outs.
Oh, there's definitely going to be some LFR, guys that know that track well. It's just, I'm sure you'll figure it out. It's just, it's not like Thompson at all, because Thompson is big bank, and this is more of a flat track. So.
Well, I don't want to. Somebody asked me about would I do any iRacing to get familiar with it. I told him I was too old for that. I don't do much iRacing. When I was growing up, if you wanted to experience, you went and got in a race car and went at it. But I have watched a couple videos. I've watched a couple of the races that they had up there, and it looks like a really fun track. Just like I said, I don't really want to overanalyze it. I just want to kind of get in the car and go out there and see what it gives us.
Yeah, I think you'll do fine there. I think, by the second practice, you'll have a good feel for what you have to do and what you should do and everything else. So you'll go from there. But, I mean, it's just, I'm not saying you might not have a spring change or something else, but just to fit your driving style. Because that's the thing. Everybody thinks that you just put one magic setup in the car and then it's good for anyone. Not
no,
really.
That's not how it works. Yeah, and I know y'all, most people have heard by now, we took the car to LFR, and Fuller and Chase Dowling and those guys have been lending a hand to put a setup under the car that is going to get us in the ballpark. And, you can put, it's not like taking a magic pill. It's not, you can't take the setup that was in the car that won the race there last time and say, okay, there it is, you should win now. Everybody has a different driving style, and I can relate to that, especially because me and my brother both have the same chassis, and we work out of the same shop, but our setups are totally different. We both find success in our own setups. So, everybody has a different style, a different feel they're looking for. So, I'm assuming that we'll have to tweak on it a little bit. But if the setup is basically just like what was in the 15 car last time, and from what I understand, he was the class of the field for most of the race. That'll get us close enough that we ought to be able to make a couple minor adjustments and hopefully be there to contend.
Yeah, and with the LFR car, I mean, there's plenty of guys there. Like, you got Chase Dowling helping you. He runs Stafford not every Friday, but most Fridays he's, running at Stafford.
Right. So. Well, like I said, with Chase, I think he's had a helping hand with the setup of the car up at LFR the last couple of weeks. The car's still up there. And, with Bonsignor and a couple of those guys that with Kobe, Phil Moran and those guys have always been really helpful to us. So, that's the unique part for me and for Eddie, I think, is that we both know what we're doing.
Right.
And we both know how to be successful. But it's, even though we've been involved in modified racing our entire careers, it's a different kind of racing with a tire change and with a different compound tire. And the asphalt that is used up there, it's got to be a totally different asphalt than they use down here, because we chew tires off down here like it's bubble gum. So you can drive the car a little harder. You can race a little different, and you can be a little bit more aggressive up north. And I like that. I like that kind of racing. It seems like when you race up north, you can lean on each other a little bit, and nobody gets the raw hind end about it. You just get out and you shake hands. You say, "Hey, good hard racing." And, when you do that in the South, sometimes guys get rubbed their way and they take it personal, and they don't understand that Modified's got Nerf bars hanging off on the side that are called Nerf bars. That's what they're for, is to use to lean on each other a little bit. And, as long as you do it with respect, I don't have a problem with it.
We're talking with Burt Myers. He's a 2-time Southern Whelen Modified Tour champion and an 8-time Bowman Gray Stadium champion. He's on the line with us. He's going to be making his Stafford Speedway debut this coming Friday night in the running of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour event. That's this coming Friday night, August 3rd. And then, of course, the next stop for the Whelen Modified Tour will come up on August 8th at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park. How many more races are you doing for Eddie Harvey, Burt?
Well, as many as we can. I know that's a vague answer, but we're basically trying to do every one we can that doesn't conflict with my Bowman Gray schedule. We have 3 weekends left at Bowman Gray, so as of right now. So that leaves us a handful of races that we would love to try to go do. And, like I said, with Stafford and Thompson and in Bristol, those kind of hit right in the middle of my peak of my Bowman Gray season here, down here at the end when you're trying to close out a championship. But after Bowman Gray's over, there's a handful more that we're going to try to hit. Oswego's on there, I think, and there's another Stafford and Thompson maybe. So there's several that we want to come hit. It's going to be refreshing to be able to go do those races when I'm done with Bowman Gray, so that I don't have the concern of trying to get back or trying to nail down a championship over there. Where because basically what we're going to do is, after Stafford's over Saturday night or Friday night, well, we got to get in the car and drive all the way home because I'm racing Bowman Gray the next day. So whenever Bowman Gray's over and I can take that off my plate, I think it'll be a little bit more refreshing and hopefully be a better experience for us when we do come up.
Now, you mentioned Bowman Gray a couple times, so I'm very curious right now. How are you doing in the points down there, and have you gotten a few wins down there?
Yeah, I've got 2 poles, 5 wins, and I'm leading the standings right now. So, like I said, we're hoping to finish strong and close out. We've got 3 events left or 3 weekends left. So, knock on wood, if everything will keep going smooth, I'm hoping to capitalize on it.
Burt, talking about Bowman Gray Stadium, why does that place pack them in there each and every year? I mean, the place is absolutely packed.
That's $1 million question. You know what? Bowman Gray has perfected the art of entertainment when it comes to racing. Not that I always like it, not that I always agree with it, but Bowman Gray does a lot of draws, a lot of inverts. They have the double file restart with the cone rule. They just do a lot of things that make it entertaining for the fan. As a competitive driver, there's a lot of things that I wish they would do, but I understand it from a promoter standpoint. And then guys, just think about it. I mean, it's a flat quarter mile around a football field.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you pack the people in there, and then every division has a full field of cars. I tell people, even if the racing's not good, you'll still be entertained. And there's not many places you can say that about.
Yeah, no, you see the videos or on YouTube, and always Bowman Gray Stadium always has a packed house in there, and the racing is always side by side racing, as you say, and you're racing around a football field, and like I said, they always provide some great action. Burt Myers is on the line with us. You're listening to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM. We're also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. I'm Gary Danko. My co-host is Rocket Rick Rotondo. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, we're going to talk to Stash Butova. He is the crew chief for Eric Burt and his SK Modified that competed at Stanford on Friday night. We're going to talk to Stash about the success he's had not only with Eric, but with other drivers in his career. Back on with Burt Myers. And Burt, do you miss the Southern Wheeling Modified Tour?
Yeah, the main thing I miss about it is being able to break the monotony of going to the same racetrack every weekend. It allows you to catch your breath sometimes, to kind of get away and do a different kind of racing because, I joke about it being entertaining at Bowman Gray. It's a different kind of racing. Just like when you come up north, it's a different kind of racing. So anytime you can kind of break that monotony and get away from that a little bit, it's refreshing. But I miss the camaraderie of racing with some of the other guys and other teams and some of the officials and some of the members that are involved with that stuff. But I get to see a lot of those same people when I come up north when I run the NASCAR Wheeling Modified Tour. So that helps us get away from it just a little bit.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to continue with Burt Myers. We'll be back right after this.
In the market for a new or pre-owned Acura? There's only one place to go, Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler offers the area's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras, combined with being Connecticut's only Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Acura Dealership of Distinction Award 18 times. At Shaler, we make owning an Acura easy. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street in Manchester, or visit us on the web at www.shaleracura.com. There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility, or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM, streaming online, WATR.com, and all shows archived at SidsView.com. My co-host, Rocket Rick Rotondo, I'm Gary Danko. Our first guest is Burt Myers. And Burt, going back to Riverhead back a few weeks ago, back in July, you came home with a 14th place finish, and that was your first time you ever saw Riverhead.
Yeah, it's that's a neat little racetrack. It reminds me of a track here close to home, Franklin County Speedway. It's not quite as fast. It doesn't quite have the grip as Franklin County, but the way you kind of feel like you're driving off down in a hole and you turn around and you come back out of the hole. I love the facility. I love the fans. It was a great experience for us. I wish we could have run a little bit better. I had several people say, well, man, 14th is not too bad. First time there, didn't tear anything up. But, as a racer, I don't go to run 14th. But you do have to take some positives away from it. And the positives is we didn't tear anything up and had a great experience. So it was a neat track. I look forward to going back to it. But hopefully next time I go back, I can have a little bit more success.
You just got to get, you and a few of your buddies to go down to a Walmart and just drive around in the parking lot. It's about the same thing as Riverhead.
Yeah, it's actually, I was informed that it's actually, when you talk about length and width, it's actually smaller than Bowman Gray Stadium. So it was, like I said, it was different. It was neat. And like I said earlier in the show, I always enjoy going to a new track and a new place. And I love coming up north, just the appreciation. Of course, everybody knows I'm an old modified guy. And the appreciation that I see that the New England fans have for modifieds is so heartwarming. It seems that sadly and slowly, that in the South, modifieds, other than Bowman Gray, have become a support class to late models or either super late models. And, that kind of hurts my feelings a little bit, especially I don't know how to put it, because I'm an old modified guy that loves watching these cars. And like I said, when I come up there, man, those people love modifieds just like I do, and they appreciate them.
And I just have a stupid question for you, because I'm always talking about it. That's like, when we go to the racetrack and we're racing, we always help the people that are around us. Or if anybody needs help, we're there, all the other racers and stuff like that. Because if we beat somebody at the racetrack, we want to beat them while they're at their best. You don't want to beat them if they're struggling or something like that. You want to help them out. And is it that way down there in the racetracks and stuff?
Whenever we had the well-funded modified tour, you had some of that. There was people that you didn't really associate with. But for the most part, if somebody needed something, somebody, may not be everybody, but somebody might lend a helping hand. But I will say, when you go to Bowman Gray, you kind of program yourself to stay to yourself, to stay in your own pit. And but you do have some of the same people that, if you need help or if you need something or they need something, we're able to step in and help them the best we can. But I don't know what it is about racing in the South. I guess because Bowman Gray's atmosphere, it's created somewhat of a wall in between the competitors. And that's another thing that, like you said, that I love about coming up there, is two guys can race each other hard, can beat the Nerf bars off of each other all night long, and then get out of the car and say, hey, man, that was a heck of a race. Good job. And it seems that Bowman Gray creates an atmosphere where it's hard to do that sometimes down here.
Yeah, I mean, it's no doubt. And, I mean, we raced side by side with the same guy for, like, 4 out of the last 5 weeks. Side by side, it was either him or us with the win. And leaning on the other guy, he made a little bit of a bold move going through the dirt and smacked into the side of the car, but he hit him square, didn't upset the car too much, and we were able to keep on going. So that's just good racing, And
that's what I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the way people have always given me a hard time, but whenever I first opened a Facebook account, one of my we joke about it being my brand manager. He would say, Burt, you've got to do a Facebook page. This is whenever social media was first getting hot. And my tagline on Facebook was, if you're using your back bumper to keep me behind you, it's my job to use my front bumper to get past you. Well, that goes the other way around for me as well. Sure. If I'm holding you up and you move me, then how can I be mad at you for doing something I would have done? I didn't wreck you. I moved you. And in racing, that's okay. And a lot of times people don't know how to take that. And it can create problems sometimes.
Oh, yeah, we have seen that in the past at racetracks, no doubt.
Teddy was funny like that because he used his front bumper all the time. And then if you used your front bumper on him, he'd get out, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing?
I deal with that on a weekly basis.
Okay. Well, Burt, thanks again for taking time to be with us on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. I know a lot of people are looking forward to having you come up to Stafford Speedway, seeing you in the #1 car, the Eddie Harvey car, and good luck on Friday night. And who knows, you may just be sitting in victory lane there when it's all said and done.
Well, that's our plan, guys. I really appreciate everything you're doing and helping us get some exposure. And, you were talking about us coming up for some races. We are trying our best to come up to the Loudon race later this year, the big money race.
Yeah.
So anybody out there that would love some exposure on our team and wants to help us try to make that event, get in touch with us, and we'd love to partner up with you.
Yeah, and that race will come up at New Hampshire Motor Speedway on September 22nd. For the modifieds at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Burt, once again, thank you. Safe travels up to Stafford for Friday night's action, and talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Burt Myers joining us tonight on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. Speedway Line Report Radio is also being brought to you by J.M. Montesano Auto Body Works, specialist in auto collision, all work guaranteed. 390 Lombard Street in New Haven. You can give them a call if you've been in an auto accident at 203-865-1389. Once again, J.M. Montesano Auto Body Works, located in New Haven at 390 Lombard Street. They are specialists in auto collision. All of their work is guaranteed. So, once again, if you've been in an auto accident and you want to get your car back to looking like new, then I suggest you give J.M. Montesano Auto Body Works a call today. Once again, Ricky, they are specialists in auto collision, and all of their work is guaranteed. 390 Lombard Street, New Haven, 203-865-1389. And don't forget about another sponsor here on Speedway Line Report Radio. When it comes to maintenance and lawn care, it's Jim's Lawn Care Service, located in Cheshire, Connecticut. 203-272-2054 for Jim's Lawn Care Service out of Cheshire. Maintenance and lawn care, it's Jim's Lawn Service. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to a gentleman. That is the crew chief on Eric Burns' SK Modified that competes at Stafford Speedway on Friday nights. Stash Butova, he'll join us next.
There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility, or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com. In the market for a new or pre-owned Acura? There's only one place to go, Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler offers the area's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras, combined with being Connecticut's only Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Acura Dealership of Distinction Award 18 times. At Shaler, we make owning an Acura easy. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street in Manchester, or visit us on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM. We're also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. 203-757-1320. That's the number here at our Waterbury studio. If you want to talk auto racing with Ricky or myself or any of our scheduled guests, we just heard from Burt Myers. Our next guest is set and ready to go. He's been a crew chief and has worked with many different teams over the years. He had a lot of success with Frank Rocco and many others. He's currently the crew chief for Eric Burt and his SK Modified that competes at Stafford Speedway on Friday nights. Stash Butova now joins us. Stash, good evening. How are you?
How are you, Gary? It's always a pleasure to be on the Speedway Line Report.
Yeah, great to have you. We haven't had you on in a while, but you're doing some good things. You've been doing many good things over the last several years, working with Ronnie Williams and many others. You've also worked on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, calling shots for different drivers. And, of course, you know my co-host, Ricky Rotondo, very well. But what's been the key with you, Eric Burt, and the whole 66 team in 2018 at Stafford?
Well, it's funny because the load's getting kind of heavy on my shoulders carrying the spot of these couple of wins we got. But I would say probably I would say that when I became a free agent at this past winter, that I probably knew that there was one team that I could really click on, and that was Eric's team. And he updated his equipment. We have a brand new car, and cars, and Eric put a lot of time and money into the car, and it just seems to click. We had a fast car all year, and now it seems like we're clicking off some wins, and we just hope to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, with Eric, he changed his game. He got a brand new Troyer car, and then his cousin came back on the team. We changed around some. We kept all the same personnel besides adding Stash and Eric's cousin Nick, and we changed a few of the things around. It's like I spot for Eric now, and the kid that you used to spot goes out into the pits to help him out there, and so that's the biggest thing that we changed so far.
Stash, how would you describe Eric Burt, not as a person and as a race car driver?
Well, he's a great family man and a great person. He's always been. His wife Leanne is nice, and as a race car driver, I think he's probably one of the most intelligent on giving feedback that I've been able to work with so far, and most people kind of got to take him the wrong way, where most people think he's probably laid back on the racetrack, but after watching him these past 3 or 4 weeks, he's actually quite aggressive, and when he has a car that'll go, he sticks the nose right in there, and he's quite tenacious out there.
Well, somebody's also telling him to stick the car in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got things working out very well.
That's like me and Stott. Everybody on the team jokes around. We all joke around. That's it. Because you have to have fun when you're at the racetrack.
Absolutely.
And before we go out to the races, I would get on Stosh. I'm like, Stosh, we giving me anything to work with tonight here? And it's just having fun.
And Stash, Ricky and I, we talk about it a lot. And, you've been around the sport for a long, long time, just like your brother, Steve. And, you guys eat, drink, and breathe auto racing. And I know, I'm sure when you go to bed at night, you're thinking of what you can do to that race car to make it better than what it is. And that's why, because you're so passionate about auto racing. And I think that's what makes things work. And I mean, you had success with Frank Rocco. As I mentioned, you worked with Ronnie Williams and others. And now you're still working with other race teams as for setups.
Yeah, I'm going to just get to the point of what you made before, though, is I think what's changed for me this year is, and this hasn't been like this for me for, I can't tell you how long. This year, I've actually been looking forward to going to the racetrack. I'm actually having fun again racing. And I can honestly say that in the years past, I was not having fun. And I at times, would look at the weekly weather report and hope for rain. Well, yesterday, I was already, wishing it was Friday. So I think that probably one of the best things that happened to me was I'm actually having fun again. And that, I think, is like Ricky said, is one of the best positives of why we're having so much success. And, I mean, I still set up cars. I added Matt Galko to our SKs at Stafford. I've been helping Jeff Gallup on the MRS and tri-track shows. That hasn't been going that great. We've had some bad luck, but we're looking to turn that around. But I'm trying to do less is more. Seeing I'm 42 years old now and I can't move, and I'm sure Ricky can say the same thing. We just can't do like we used to do. But the biggest thing is having fun, like Ricky said, and that's what I think the key ingredients with this team is right now. Yeah,
like I said, I mean that's the biggest thing. Me and Eric, we're brothers from different mothers. We get along well, and even when everybody thinks we'll be on each other pretty hard about something, it's no big deal. It's all we just try to have fun, and even Stash, like I said, I'll crank up Stash a little bit now and then, and he gets it. It's all just fun.
Stash, how would you describe the competition at Stafford Speedway on a Friday night with their premier division, the SK Modifieds?
Well, I'm not going to shortchange it. I mean, at times it's tough, but I feel like this year here, us and Ronnie Williams have been, really overpowering the rest of the field. And that's not to say that can't change, but, the competition's always tough. I mean, you're always going to have a good 5-10 cars that could win. But it seems like right now that us in the 50 are on top of our game. And we just hope to keep working hard at it and keep trying to elevate ourselves more, that we can outrun the 50 every week. You know what I mean? That's probably the goal right now is, the 50 car is our toughest competition up there, and I'm sure Ricky could agree with that.
Absolutely, and I'm just waiting for Keith to turn around his program because he's been struggling a little bit since the 100-lapper. So I'm not too sure if they banged into something or something's off on the car or what they got going on the past few weeks, but he's going to turn it around soon. With his car, so.
Yep, you keep thinking so, and I'm sure when it's all said and done, I'm sure you probably don't want to count him out.
No, none of the top runners at Stafford in the SK Modifieds. You definitely don't want to count them out because anybody on a given Friday night can get the victory lane, Ricky.
Yeah, all the guys are doing well. I mean, Cipriano runs good with the 3-car there. What's his name? You just said it. Galko. He's running well. It's just if he hits it on and throws 3 tires on, he could be the one to beat. A
lot of it comes back to Ricky is who is on what tire schedule. That plays such a big part in it. You know what I mean? So there may be a given night where Keith's on old tires and so-and-so's on new. So, yeah, it definitely is possible where if somebody's on an off tire night, then somebody could steal a win,
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ronnie, for being on an off tire night last week, they came in third. They did really good.
And throw Steven Kopchik in there. He was second right behind you guys.
And that's
this week.
That's like his 4th top 3 this year, I think, 3rd or 4th.
Now, Stash, are you doing anything on the NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour?
I was working for Calvin Carroll their first 5 or 6 races, and they're a great family, and who knows what the future may be. With that team, the commute, going back to the shop was kind of grilling on me a little bit, and I kind of took a little break from it and stuff. But I have a setup in the 21 that Ronnie Williams drives on the tour every race, and they use my setups, and it's gratifying to see when the car goes good. But I just don't have my hands in on the car like I used to. But I'll be honest with you, Gary, it's, the tour, the traveling is grueling, and there's some, they go to Loudon, they're going to be going to Bristol, and, I'm kind of putting my full effort into the SK situations, and Jeff Gallup's car is pretty close by to my house, and so I've been kind of just concentrating on that, and it seems to be working pretty well as far as not burning out. It's already August and I'm still full of life, so.
That, I know you're helping out Gallup there, but that's like Gallup helps us on Friday nights.
That's right.
If he's around or something, Gallup will come help push out the pit cart. His girlfriend's at the racetrack helping us out too. So, I mean, it's all good. Everything's, working very well this year. Together.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Stash, car counts, at Stafford Speedway, you look at the SK Modified, the Premier Division at Stafford, there's anywhere from 22 to 23 SKs. Their SK Light program that they started going back several years ago, that has really developed into a very good series, Stash.
Yeah, it's, judging, well, every racetrack will always have their, qualms, and everybody may at one point or another not be happy with, a call certain track makes and stuff. But on the average, Stafford is the premier racetrack, and
no question.
It's good to see them getting those car counts, which you got to take into consideration now, Gary. Really, a lot of people don't think about this. When you're talking about 23 race cars on a given night in their premier division, and then the SK Lights, whatever that is, 22, 23 cars.
Yep.
I always think back as I look back at New Smyrna's weekly results just to use as a reference, and you're talking 6-8 cars in their premier division, and then some of their other divisions may have like 5 cars. So to think about how many cars our track gets is really, really good considering how many other tracks are suffering with car count.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, in some cases it is the economy. Some, other tracks have the different issues going on. And Ricky, your thoughts?
It's just, he's right about that there. And I mean, there was a point where Thompson was getting single-digit car counts for 3 of their divisions.
Right.
So that's why they stopped it. They stopped racing full seasons. They went to partials. And speaking of that, is you helping out Ronnie Williams at Thompson Stash?
No, they. I think they're selling their equipment, and I guess I should say they're selling their chassis cars, and I think they're looking to buy a Troyer car maybe and run some open shows. So that's the direction they're heading in. But I will be helping my girlfriend's nephew Jay Sundin in the SKs for the next how many races. So he has a TA1 chassis, and he's very eager to do well, and they're hoping to get him some quality finishes in the next few races.
Stash, you know a lot about chassis. I mean, going back, you worked with CD cars. You've worked with Troyer cars and others. So basically, is there a big thing about the chassis itself, or is it just basically the setup? Because you hear people saying, "Oh, Troyer's the best race car since sliced bread." LFR is doing good on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. Chassis cars always have done well in SK Modified competition. So. And throw race work cars in there as well, and Spafco cars. So is there a big thing about the particular chassis, or is it just knowing what you need to do for a setup?
Well, I guess that you could say that it's always beneficial to have who's working on the car will dictate if it goes good or not. But I will say, and Ricky will attest to this, is like 3 or 4 years ago when we won 6 races with the CD car with Ronnie, and Rowan Pennick won 6 races that year too with the CD car. We were running a 46 compound on the right side and a 45 compound on the left side. And that year there, the CD cars were superior to the Troyer cars at Stafford. Now the tires they have us on, which is a 450 compound on the right and a 30 on the left, it seems like this tire gravitates a lot more towards the Troyer car. I think that on any given day, you could probably make any sort of car work, but I noticed last year, which I was a big fan of Ronnie taking that 50 ride, because I felt like we were tapped out as a third-place car on a Friday night on that particular tire, and I felt like I probably couldn't give him much more than what I was giving him to get him over the hump where he could win, 5, 6 races a year. So I think that it's possible to get certain cars going on certain series, but sometimes when you have more cars of one out there, you can get more information and more support from other people or whoever to get one certain car working better than the others. And I think at Stafford this year, it's kind of showing that a TA1 chassis has won, I would say, Ricky, 90% of the races so far.
Yeah, I think there was, 2 people that Rowan won a race?
Yeah, and Chase Dowling. Yeah, those are the 2. And that's that tire really is working well with the Troyer TA1 car right now. And that's what it, just like the old tire that Stash was talking about, the year that he had 6 wins, we had 3 wins with the 08 style Troyer car, because that tire worked well with that. But now it's just we were struggling a bit last year, and the tire with this chassis right now is definitely seems like that's what you want.
Hey Stash, before I let you go, now you're at Stafford Speedway tonight.
Yes, I am actually. I'm helping Parker Burt.
Okay, and so working, of course, he's referring to the Wild Thing carts, and of course, Eric, who competes in the SK Modifieds, that has 2 victories to his credit so far in 2018. His kids are running at the Wild Thing carts, and what's unique about those race cars, Stash? And I'll let you go.
I've been doing them a long time, and I think the uniqueness is just watching the kids grow in them, and watching them be able to communicate. It's funny because after practice day, Parker says he's screaming at me and Eric. He's like, "The car's just bad." He says, "It's bad." I says, "But what is so bad about it?" I says, "Is it sliding out on the back, or is the front sliding?" And he says, "It's just bad." So once we can get a little bit better communication here, and which will come, it will kind of be that little bit of nudge that's going to make him an SK Light driver one day. So I think that's what the best thing about it is just watching the kids grow.
You're probably getting better feedback from Summer.
Yeah, probably. She was going good out there in practice. Parker, he's got twin 15s today, so it's sort of be interesting.
All right. Stash, I appreciate your time. You're doing a great job, like you always have, and 2 wins already with Eric Burt and the SK Modifieds at Stafford, and still a long way to go in this season. Stash, thanks for your time. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
You're welcome. Stash Butova joining us tonight on this edition of Speedway Line Report Radio. We'll break for our final commercial, and Ricky and I will be back right after that.
In the market for a new or pre-owned Acura? There's only one place to go, Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler offers the area's best selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras, combined with being Connecticut's only Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Acura Dealership of Distinction Award 18 times. At Shaler, we make owning an Acura easy. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street in Manchester, or visit us on the web at www.shaleracura.com. There's nowhere else like Shaler Acura in Manchester. Shaler Acura is Connecticut's first Acura dealer. Whether it's an MDX or RDX sport utility, or a sport luxury sedan like the ILX or TLX, Shaler has what you're looking for. They also have the area's best selection of certified pre-owned Acuras in the area. Shaler Acura is the only Connecticut Acura dealer to earn the prestigious Dealer of Distinction Award by Acura for outstanding sales and service 18 times. At Shaler, they make owning and driving an Acura easy. Visit their ultra-modern, newly renovated facility today. Shaler Acura, 345 Center Street, Manchester, exit 60 off I-84, or visit them on the web at www.shaleracura.com.
Welcome back to Speedway Line Report Radio here on WATR 1320 AM. Don't forget, we're also streaming online at WATR.com, and all shows are archived at SidsView.com. Once again, we appreciate everything that Sid does for us here on Speedway Line Report Radio. Of course, picking up the ball, going back about a month or so ago, actually longer than that now. Of course, Tom Ormsby from SpeedwayLineReport.com, who's done this show for us for many years, and appreciate everything he's done. Of course, under the weather right now, and we're sending out prayers to Tom and his entire family. Speedway Line Report Radio is also being brought to you by Prestige Body Works. If it's foreign, domestic, or exotic, and if it's collision and refinishing, it's Prestige Body Works. They're located at 3 Colonial Road in Canton, Connecticut. Give Carl or Brett a call today if you've been in an auto accident at 860-693-1350. 860-693-1350 for Prestige Body Works in Canton, Connecticut. And don't forget our folks are right down the road, the Grotto Restaurant here in Waterbury, Connecticut. We've got about a minute left here on Speedway Line Report Radio. Appreciate Burt Myers and Stash Butova, who are our guests tonight. Ricky joining us tonight. And, what can you say about Stash? Like I said, he loves auto racing. He's been around it for a long, long time, along with his brother Steven, and they certainly do a great job.
I mean, I was into the racing before Stash was, and I remember when Stash got into it, and he was helping out these guys, the White brothers, John White.
Yes. Yeah.
Remember them?
Yes.
He was helping them out and stuff like that. One of the best times, I can't remember who it was that we helped at the racetrack. I'll try to make this quick. Stash was talking to the guy, and he's like, "Oh, it's making this, making that." And Stash is like, "Ricky, well, how can I fix this?" I says, "We got to take the whole thing apart and redo the whole low end and everything." He goes, "We got time?" I said, "We can make time." He goes, "All right, let's do it." I don't even know the guy.
Yeah.
But Stash was there, and we just made it happen.
Speedway Line Report Radio is presented to you by Shailer Acura, Manchester, Connecticut, and also being brought to you by J.M. Monosound Auto Body, Sign Pro, Jim's Lawn Care Service, Levine Auto and Truck Parts, Prestige Body Works, and Grotto Restaurant. So a big thank you to Stash Butova and Burt Myers, for Steve Noxon, Tom DiMaggio, my co-host Ricky Rotondo. I'm Gary Danko. We'll talk to you next Monday night. National News is right around the corner.
The preceding has been a GMD production. Don't forget to listen to Gary next Monday night for more auto racing news on the Speedway Line Report. And remember, the show can be heard in a rebroadcast on sidsview.com.
This is your radio station for news, talk, and entertainment. 1320 AM WATR Waterbury.